Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.
KZOZ, it's 3 minutes after 8 o'clock. Wow. Opening up a can of worms here. Everybody, it seems like they got their ass beat when they were kids, at least in our generation. and the funny thing is we were asking you on Facebook, and a lot of people wrote in on the text line, and we'll get to these, but how were you punished as a kid? Was it a spanking? Was it soap in the mouth? Was it timeout? Were you grounded? Did you have stuff taken away? And I think about 90% of everybody said everything above, everything and more. And depending on my age, how the punishment changed.
It's funny, my kids, their grandparents have, it's an antique. My mother-in-law loves antiques. So she found a wooden paddle, and it's a spanking paddle, and it says Board of Education on it. And it hangs up in the kitchen at her house, right next to the pantry.
Did she ever spank your kids?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe my brother-in-law, but never the girls, I would think. Never.
No, I meant your kids.
Oh, no.
I don't think grandparents, unless you're raising the kids, right?
Yeah.
Like some grandparents have to end up raising them. But if it's a traditional type situation, grandparents are just there to spoil. They never. But that's pretty funny that they have that. You don't even spank your kids. Yeah. Have you ever given your kids a swat?
My son, I have, yes.
Yeah.
Because he definitely, he deserves
with your hand,
time.
or do you get a switch?
Just my hand.
You make him go out in the backyard and go, hey, go get a switch.
Just my hand, and it's only been a few times, and it's when he's been really bad, and
you want to kill
him? It really doesn't resonate much. It's attitude based, Like that's when I realized I did it a few times, and it just didn't really do the trick, and then that's when I realized, okay, taking things away that he likes is a better method.
As much as I was spanked as a kid, I don't have kids, but if I ever did, I don't think I could ever do it. I think I would feel horrible because, and honestly, I don't think you probably spanked him hard enough. And I think that's probably why it didn't really take effect.
No.
But you don't want to do that because then it's just, I don't know, it's different. It's different.
It's the whole weight that is the. Like your dad used to make you go up and grab.
Oh, the anticipation.
The anticipation. Yeah. Because when my kids saw the Board of Education hanging on the wall, they're like, what's that? I said, well, that's the Board of Education. And they're like, what do you mean by that? And I said, well, if you're acting up, or you see this pantry here, because they like to run into the pantry and grab copious amounts of food whenever they're grandma and grandpa's, said, if you go in there too often and you don't ask to grab stuff, you get a swat with this on the bum. And they're like, oh, okay. And I just left it at that. And now they are very respectful of the pantry at Grandma and Grandpa's. Very respectful.
Yeah, I remember there was many times when I was a kid, he'd be like, all right, go upstairs, get the belt, go in your room, and I'll be up there in a little bit. And he would make me wait sometimes a half hour. And then all of a sudden I hear him come up the stairs. I'm like, oh, crap. And then
you thought it was over. You thought you'd waited out the storm.
Yeah, but then I hear him coming, and the tears start coming down. He opens up the door, and he looks at me, and he goes, "You can do it again?" "Nope." "Or are you going to listen to your mom?" "Yep." "Yes, sir. Yes, sir." 805-543-3693. The numbers to get on. Hi, you're on the air with Jeff and Jeremy. Go ahead.
Good morning, guys. How we doing?
Good.
Excellent. Hey, I have I used to get my ass beat all the time, but I got one particular story. Me and my buddies, they talked me into taking my mom's 1985 Chevy Cavalier out for a joyride.
Friends.
So, yeah, exactly. So we're cruising around, we're being cool. They're telling all of our buddies. Well, one of the acquaintances' dad is a cop, so they catch wind, they catch us. They get us pulled over after a brief chase, and they beat our
brief
asses.
Chase. What do you mean? Like, you tried to outrun the police?
It's 85 Chevy Cavalier. Come on, bro. So the cops beat our ass. We get dragged down to the police station. My mom comes and gets us, and she beats our ass at the police station.
Yeah.
Then we get back to the house. She's dropping off my friends as we're going, and they're getting their asses beat in their front yard by their parents as we go. I finally get back to the house. And she's there. I don't know if you guys know what a street hockey goalie stick is. It's like a wood thing with a big old piece of plastic, and she whoops my ass with that thing. It was like 5 beatings in like 3 hours.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
I bet you never went on a joyride in the 1985 Chevy Cavalier after that.
I certainly didn't take my mom.
Thanks for the call, Brian. God, I've never got my ass beat like that. Just my dad. I remember he was like, he was threatening to have the principal, because we're old enough to where the principals would spank you in school if you were bad. And he was like, yeah, he's like, I'm gonna, and I said, hey, I don't care if you hit me, but I don't want anybody else hitting me or I'm running away. And of course, I never got in that kind of trouble, but I felt like I put my foot down, and he was like, all right, I'll just be the one that beat you then. Mom never touched me once, just Dad. He was the disciplinarian one until I was a teenager, and then my mom was chasing.
Did your mom ever do the thing where she said, wait till your father gets home?
All the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then would you try to butter
punisher.
her up once that phrase was muttered?
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, hey, just calm down. Just relax, man. It's not that big a deal. Can we talk about this? John Mellencamp coming up after we take a break. We'll be right back.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.
Have you seen the bridge? I ain't seen the bridge.
We're going to be playing Zeppelin at 8:20 all this week for Mara Sanchez out of Templeton. She's our Week 6 winner in the Red Zone Challenge. One heck of a win, too, as she went up against 22 other people, tied for first place, and nailed the final score, 23-20, Buffalo over the Jets.
I just want to take a minute to recognize how close it was. We talked about it yesterday. Wendy was 2 points off. Or no, 1 point off. She was 1 point off. She said 24 to 20. And if Tyler Bass would have hit a extra point, Wendy would have been the winner. Also on there, former sponsor of the Red Zone Challenge, Fred Bruin. He's a Remax Parkside realtor up in Paso Robles. He had the final score at 23 to 18. Bills Chiefs. So he missed it by 2 points.
Yeah, it was really close.
Could you? I mean,
and the next guy missed it by 4.
Yeah,
and the next guy after that missed it by 4. They were tied.
That's insane.
No, it was a bit more.
I don't know if it's ever come down to that close before. I think what happened was a lot of the games this week were super predictable, and there were a lot of high scores that came in. Like I thought I made a lot of miscues, and I ended up getting a decent salvageable score for the Red Zone Challenge. But man, these people, Wendy, Freds, Mara, I mean, they were right over it. And that's why it's important. And we're going to stress it now, but we're also going to stress it when it comes to playoff time. You have to put that tiebreaker in there. You have to put the tiebreaker in there.
If you don't, you're off. Yeah.
You have no chance.
Look at this.
You could go perfect for the week, and still you could lose because there's a good chance that, like in this instance, 21 other people will be tied with you going into Monday night.
This week, we're going to be, I'm noticing I've got a lot of home. Well, it's about 50-50. It's about 50-50. Tomorrow, we'll be covering the 3 closest games of the week. And I believe that Eric at Radio Shack got fired. I believe they let him go. Not at Radio Shack, but in the Red Zone.
Okay, I was like, whoa, man. They have a no tolerance policy for bad picking of football games. They're like, you're not allowed to sell batteries anymore. Okay?
Yeah, he went 0-3.
They pulled them.
Tennessee, Jaguars, and the Jets.
Gave him the Jets treatment. That's called the jet sweep. So, right there, when they just sweep you out the door.
I have a chance to regain, come back, bounce back.
Oh, you have some work to do by sourcing out your picks last week.
Yeah, that didn't help me, did it?
No, it didn't because he went. What,
do the work.
He went 0-3.
0-3.
Oh,
0-3.
dude, you're in a deeper hole than you would have been. And didn't you say you were going to pick? You would have picked.
Oh, I would have went 3-0 if I would have picked. I would have put 3-0 because I wrote my picks down next to it. I was like, whatever. I only missed 2 games last week. The only 2 games that I missed last week.
Wow.
Were week 6. Let's see here. Well, it was the Tampa Bay, New Orleans, and then the Denver Chargers game. I picked Denver and I picked New Orleans, and New Orleans is playing on Thursday night this week, right? They're playing tomorrow night.
Garbage game against Denver. Sean Payton's revenge. But Denver's like a one-trick pony when it comes to defense and the passing game, and it's all Patrick Surtain. And Surtain will shut down the number 1 receiver. But there's so many question marks. Olave's
That'll
out.
be a really exciting, boring defensive game.
Oh, gosh. It's going to be Thursday night football at its finest.
Will anybody score a touchdown?
Guys you've never heard of playing. I mean, it's just going to be hot garbage.
Yeah, the final score will be 12-9.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns from
All field
Alvin
goals.
Kamara. It'll be 14-6. The 2 field goals by the Broncos.
Well, I would like that since I had to pick up the Saints defense this week because
Yeah,
I'm not playing the
there you
49ers against the Chiefs.
Why?
The 49ers. Are they more banged up than I realized?
I think the Chiefs have been so lucky. I think the Chiefs are in for a big surprise. Like kind of like
I think
last
the
season.
49ers are going to beat the Chiefs, by the way. I'm picking them.
But Andy Reid's now before you make that pick, Andy Reid's like over his career record coming off of buys is like he's like got like 1 loss over his whole entire coaching career. I could be wrong on that. I remember it was something.
Well, then he's due for another one, isn't he?
Well, you could look at it that way, yeah. You could look at it, or you could look at it that he's had 2 weeks to prepare for the game and figure it out. But they are playing in San Francisco, and San Francisco's healthy right now. I mean, like,
yes, and that's
super
the
healthy.
other thing. Yeah, and the weather's going to be fine. There's not going to be any issues there. So
San Francisco.
If
in
the weather was
October,
bad,
come on.
I would probably not go with San Francisco because come on, California guys, they can't handle this. They
Oh,
can't
come
handle
on!
the rain.
These guys come from all over the place.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.
All right, Jeff and Jeremy here. It's KZOZ online at KZOZ.com. It's the Assist Home Loans poll question. Have you ever peed in the pool? No. Do you pee in the pool?
Do you pee in the pool? There's a
I
big,
say no, but have I peed in the pool?
yes. And that's where the rub comes in. Like, if you pee in the pool, you're like one of these people that's like, yeah, it's a big body of water. It's fine. I'll go ahead and pee in the pool. And if you have ever peed in the pool, well, yeah. I mean, like that number would be a lot higher, right? I mean, everybody's peed in the pool at one point in time in their life. Not everybody, I think. Is that more of a?
Sure.
Is that more of a?
Much, most people have.
Is that more of a men thing or a woman thing?
I don't know. But Leslie Jones from Saturday Night Live, she makes people sign a contract if they're going to get in her pool because she doesn't want to.
Well,
I mean, if you're to that point, I would just not let anybody swim in your pool. We had a lot of people write in this morning.
the numbers support it. The numbers support Leslie's actions on the KZOZ poll question brought to you by Justin Stearns at Assist Home Loans. 40% of people saying, yeah, they pee in the pool. And when I'm sorry, but when the question is asked, do you pee in the pool? That means, are you regularly peeing in the pool? And that's 40%. The other 40% are saying, yeah, I've done it, but only when I was a kid. Only 20% are saying, no, I don't pee in the pool. This is making me rethink how I approach our pool
Letting
situation.
people come over to your house.
Absolutely.
Yes. How many people have been pissing in your pool and then you swim in it?
Oh my gosh. The pool guy once said to me, he's like, you got to add these chemicals, keep the things right and stuff like that. And he's like,
well, you got to test your
and
water.
he said, especially after your friends or your friends or your kids' friends, or even worse, your kids' friends come over.
Yeah. I would test the water after your kids have their friends over and just see if it changes much. I'm sure you have a test kit, right? You do that yourself?
I use the strips. But the cool thing is, Paso Pool and Spa Supply, they give you a little cup, and it's like you got a sample.
Okay, so Gummy Bear Greg writes in.
Hold on a second. And you can just scoop your water up and take it down to him, and he'll test it, and then he'll be like, okay,
Yeah.
this is what you need. This is what you need.
That's pretty common, isn't it? I mean, I know my parents used to do that until he.
Well, I don't know. He's the
figured
only
it
one
out.
that I know of that. It's not like you can go to the 19-year-old kid working at Leslie's and be like, hey, could you tell me what I need with my water, and hand him a vial and have him, count on him to give you good advice. 19-year-old kid working at Leslie's.
Greg says that chlorine has no scent. The only reason you smell chlorine in a pool is because of the interaction with urine. Well, I worked at a water park, and I worked with chlorine, and it does have a smell. But also bleach. Bleach is a part of what we used in the mix for the public pools. But and bleach obviously has a very strong smell. But we would mix chlorine in a bucket and then pour it in the water, and you would smell it.
Yeah.
It smelled like chlorine. I don't know if you can't smell, or if there's another kind of chlorine, or if you read something. But yeah, I used to do this. I did it for a summer job. 5-gallon bucket, chlorine, water, mix it all together, pour it in the pools.
I like the overwhelming smell of chlorine. We're going to Great Wolf Lodge this weekend. I was talking to some people that have been there because I'd never been there. And they're like, get ready for
those pools.
Get ready for the smell of chlorine. I was like, good.
Smells better than piss, right?
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.
So you watch the video. What is your takeaway from video that was sent in about pee in
My
the pool?
takeaway is it's an extremely strung out, way too long of a video. I didn't get a chance to finish it
'Cause we only
it's
had
10 minutes long.
Yeah, we only
And
had 3 minutes and 13 seconds.
for 3 minutes, the guy just was doing fancy little crap, and he collected a bunch of water. I'll tell you where it's at. He collected a bunch of water from a public pool, his friend's pool, and some tap water that they use to fill the pools with at both locations, and he's taking it to a lab.
Okay.
where I'm at.
Oh gosh, what a cliffhanger! That's such a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I'm going to test it.
The pool, the pool poll has moved since talking about it, which is usually the case when we talk about the poll question. Now you'll be comfortable to know that it is moving closer in the direction. 27% of people saying no, they do not pee in the pool, but still a majority
Liars.
of
I think they're liars.
people
I think
are.
everybody's peed in the pool.
Well, no. But that's not the question. It's do you pee in the pool, not have you ever peed in the pool.
Are you still willing to go piss in a pool? Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically it. Do you pee in the pool? I mean, that is present times. Okay, that is either there's a lot of 8-year-olds answering our poll question, or there is people that are like, yeah, I pee in the pool, no problem. And
Think about it, especially with pools at resorts where there's bars and they're drinking. I'm not getting out of the pool. Let's pee right here. You're everything. You kind of let your guard down once you've had got a good buzz going during happy hour, and you're getting 2-for-1s, and you're pounding them, and you're like, yeah.
this is where if
Come on,
I'm
man.
the bartender,
I got another 30 minutes of this happy hour. I can't waste that going to the bathroom. I'll just do it right here.
if I'm the bartender, I'm also the Gestapo. I'm like, hey, I haven't seen you leave this pool. Because
You've had 5 drinks, and I haven't seen you leave this pool.
exactly. I'm like, you don't get another drink until you walk your ass out of that pool and go to the bathroom. And I'm going to take a bathroom monitor with you, and he's going to make sure that you are actually going to the bathroom. He or she, depending on who's doing it. I tend to think this is more of a man thing than a woman thing, wholeheartedly. I don't think women pee in the pool. I think men are the ones that pee in the pool because we are disgusting pigs and animals. It's just the way it is.
It's funny because I'll pee in the river.
But that goes downstream.
It's going away from you.
I'll even stand on the banks of the river and pee into the water and let it go downstream. Because it's all going to get there eventually, right? I mean, it all filters down into a river. If you're by a river, then, whether it's you're peeing on the ground next to the river or into the river, it'll eventually, whatever things you're doing, it'll get there through groundwater.
KCOZ.com for the Assist Home Loans poll question. Do you pee in the pool? Now, this is anonymous. And 40 almost 42% of people are saying yes.
Great, it's gone back up.
And 33% of people are saying only as a kid, which means over 70% of people have peed in a pool at some point. But I think that number's higher. I think 25% of you that are saying no, you've never peed in a pool.
So based on our poll, 1 in 4 have never peed in a pool.
Well, do you pee in the pool? Like I voted no on this. I would vote no because I don't do it. I've done it, but I wouldn't do it. So I guess I probably should have picked only when I was a kid.
I don't know. The way you
too.
were just telling that happy hour story tells me differently. You had way too much strategy behind that, the details of that happy hour story for me to believe the fact that you don't pee in the pool right now.
But I've changed my ways, okay?
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Don't miss a moment. Subscribe to the podcast on Google, Apple, YouTube by clicking on Jeff and Jeremy at KZOC.com.
We've been talking about peeing in the pool and the fact that chlorine really smells like chlorine when there's been pee added to it. And, I was saying that I had a summer job where I worked at a water park and we would add chlorine into water and you could smell it. And you can smell chlorine when you open the bottle, but it really intensifies according to this study and that we were sent this video of. So I'm just going to play a little bit of an experiment because this guy's sitting down with this professor and she's like, listen, when you pee and chlorine and pee get together, that's when you really smell that strong chlorine smell, like when you go to a public pool or something like that, especially an indoor pool. Like those smells, it reacts. It's called something. I forgot what she said it's called. But it makes a chemical reaction. So this guy's like, all right, I'm going to do a study here. And he gets 2 5-gallon buckets. He gets some water in both of them, same water, same hose. And then he puts puts chlorine in both, and then he puts a little pee in them. And that's kind of where we're at here.
So I devised an experiment of my own to see if this was really true. For the experiment, I got 2 5-gallon buckets and filled them with pure water. Then I added 4 times the recommended concentration of chlorine for that volume of water to both buckets. And then only in the bucket labeled B, I added just a little bit of pee.
Like a shot
and I let it
glass.
sit for a couple days. Alright, so it's been 3 days, so this is the moment of truth. So the first thing I notice is visually they look the same. You can't tell one bucket from the other as far as color of water goes. So I'm going to start and smell this one first. So that doesn't smell like anything. That smells just like water, even though this has 4 times the recommended concentration of chlorine for this volume, which makes me nervous to smell this one.
Oh.
Trick or treat!
Sorry.
Kick it.
I don't have the paid 5 seconds. Here we go.
That is crazy.
Here he goes.
This smells like a pool, even though the only difference between these two is this has a little bit of pee in it.
Okay, so.
And it made me think, have you ever been to somebody's house or you ever smelled tap water that just smells like chlorine really strong?
Like what's getting into the tap water?
Like, oh, God, I'm drinking somebody's piss. A little bit anyways. It didn't take much pee to make that really strong smell. So thank you, Gummy Bear Greg, for sending that in. I don't know if you could hear us, but
That's when you get the whole house filter system, right?
that's right. Davis Water Conditioning. Hey.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.